Did you know that starting a pilot car business can be done in 24 hours? Let's dive in how you can make it happen with minimal expenses. The first step is you have to decide where you are going to work, meaning in which state you're going to work. Why is that? Well, one of the steps normally is that as a pilot car driver, you have to get a certificate before you can start driving as a pilot car driver. Well, there are states in the US that do not require a certificate. This is just as part of this challenge. We want to avoid states that require one to have a certification because it takes weeks before you get to it, and then you have to pay between $300 and $400 or something like this. I think it goes between $260 and $360. All right. So we want to take for this challenge here to do it in 24 hours at a minimal expenses. We're going to take these states out of the equation. Okay. So what are the states that require certification? Here we go. Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Kansas, Louisiana, Minnesota, New York, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Washington. That's Washington State. Now, the next set of states we are going to exclude are the states that require a pilot car to have a top sign. This is a sign that goes on the rooftop of the car. They are fairly expensive. They go between $360 and $890. So we want to take it also out of the equation because it's a huge expense. Here is the map now of the states that require a top sign. This is the dark green. States that require certification, which is the light green. Now this leaves us with the following states that are available for us to drive: Alabama, Arkansas, Connecticut, DC, Illinois, Indiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Nevada. Nevada has a little additional thing is that you have to get a amber light permit, which you can do on the internet. It costs, I think, $1 or $2, and they send you a little certification that you have that permission to use an amber light on your car. And then next, New Mexico is another one. You have to do an inspection at the port if you enter New Mexico for the first time. Again, that's something you do as part of the Oversized Load trip, and truckers usually are very much accommodating for you to give you space to do that. Okay. Next state is Ohio, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota. So in total, we have 19 states where we can drive tomorrow. Yeah. Given, do you have a car? If you have a car, not a problem. If you don't have a car, you got to get a car. And you're right now disqualified, okay? But I'm sure every one of you has a car. The next step is the equipment list. But I want to sort of stay a little bit longer here on the map to give you an idea what you could do. Instead of just going for these 19 states, there's another thing you could do, and that is that you actually do get your certification, and then you're going to have all the states on that map that you see in front of you, all the gray states and all the light green states are now available to you to drive in. You still would be in a pretty good position, you understand, to drive if you have a certification and you just avoid the states that require a top sign for now, meaning a sign that says Oversized Load on top of the car. Let's take that out of the equation for now. And let's look at the map, how it would look like if you get certified and you do not have a top sign or a light bar on top of the car. If you do want to get your certification, you have to schedule this at least 10 days in advance. You will use the waiting time to get your equipment, meaning you sign up for the certification and wait 10 days or more or whatever, and during that time, you set up your car with the equipment. As you can see, If you do it like this, you will have 39 states to drive in, which will boost your income. This is the strategy that I recommend. How much money can you make if you do not do the certification and you only drive in 19 states and you do not obtain a top sign, an oversized load sign on top of your car and a light bar? I estimate you would make about $200 a day. That's not bad, but it's not going to get you into the 100K Pilot Car Driver Club. If you want to get into that club, watch my webinar called 3 Ways to a 6-Figure Income as a Pilot Car Driver without asking anyone for a favor. Below in the description, there is a link to that webinar. Plus, I also put a link into the first comment. Next, we're going to look at the equipment. What equipment do you need to buy minimum in order to drive as a Pilot Car Driver? Here we go. These are effective lights. I have the same ones. Next, CB radio. Next, the antenna for the CB radio. You need a sign that you put on the door, on the passenger door and the driver's side door. It gives your name of the company, city you are from, state, city and state, and then the phone number. This is a very good link here where you can get this done on Amazon. But you can also go to a Staples and get it done there. Next is flags on each side of the car. These are 18 square flags. And then we have mounting devices that go along with them. And I'm showing you here 2 different mounting devices. One is with a magnet of this one here. And then the next one is a metal one that you have to screw to the side of the car. Then you need flags on each side of the fenders. This is just certain states want you to have these. These flags have straps on it. They're 18-inch wide. Then you need a stop slow paddle. You need an orange vest. Now this orange vest here that you see allows you to put a name on it. The name I want you to put on is Pilot Car Operator. The next item is 4 flags. These are flags that have a 3-foot staff and they are 24 inches square. The next one is 3 emergency triangles, 3 orange cones. They are only 18-inch cones. 1 fire extinguisher, a 5-pound one, a hard hat, 8 red flares. That's specifically demanded in New Mexico. And the ones you see here are actually LED flares. And then, of course, you need a little emergency kit. Below, I've added a link to the best Pilot Car load board so you can find a load right away. As a note, the data that I give you here are based on a book with the title United States Truckers Regulations on Oversized Load and Pilot Car Directory. You should have a copy of this book. You can buy it in a truck stop or just Google it and you'll find stores that sell it. You're responsible for the correctness of your equipment and therefore you must have a copy of that book. If anything is found wrong by a trooper, you can't blame me, so make sure you have the right equipment. Now let's figure out what does it cost to drive in these 19 states. You need a car and I bet you have this already. So let's take that out of the equation. As a point on the car, don't drive a car that is like a little Fiat or a little smart car. That is a car that is not allowed. Now, how could you get this equipment in 24 hours? Well, the only way you could do this in 24 hours is if you live close to a big TI or Petro truck stop that has a CB radio shop attached to it. Then you can buy this within 24 hours. The downside of that is that buying it at a place like that is expensive. The prices at the truck stops are just much higher than on Amazon, for example. So I strongly recommend that you buy your equipment on Amazon. That's going to take longer, so it is again not within 24 hours, but at least you save on money and you'll get it within a week. The equipment will cost $936, and that is based on the Amazon prices. In the description below, you will find a link to every one of these items that we just went over. To find the CB radio shop, you simply Google CB shop near me, and that will give you a whole list of CB shops that you can choose from. The next thing you will need is insurance, and I have a playlist up here, up here. There's a link that you can watch, which gives you all the data how to get the best insurance and the cheapest insurance. So in summary, here are the options you have to become a pilot car driver. Option number 1, you can get on the road within 24 hours if you live near big truck stop that's either a TA or a Petro and has a CB shop attached to it. You do not need to make their certification in that case. It's only in 19 states. And you will make $200 a day. Option number 2, you can get on the road if you get a pilot car certification, and this will allow you to drive in 39 states. And that excludes states that require you to have an oversized load on top of the car and a light bar. The certification will cost you $260, and the equipment will cost you $936. I estimate you will make about $300 a day by choosing option 2. Option 3, if you have the money to buy a top sign and a light bar, you can drive in all 48 states and you will make $500 a day or more. I personally started out with option 3, and that was in 2019, and I made over $10,000, well over $10,000 in my first month. And here are the next 2 videos that you absolutely should watch.